together, you will.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Dad. You look great.
Cloudy pumpkin.
Hi.
So beautiful.
Yeah, mom was having a hard time.
Understandable.
Yeah. You look great.
Yeah.
Come here, Mom. Come here.
I don't want to roll my makeup.
Too late.
Hello. Mwah. Mwah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm trying, honey.
You're gonna do great.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, ready? Oh my gosh. You look gorgeous. Oh, I love you so much. Are you okay? Oh my gosh. You look amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh.
God.
Oh, I love you so much. We are gonna be a mess. I love you so much. I'm so happy. You look amazing. Do you need a handkerchief?
Your handkerchief?
Yes, from my mom.
Oh, fancy. Oh, how fancy. Oh, do you mind if I dab?
No.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
a lot of makeup on.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jenna. Holy cow. Yeah.
Should I do a little for
Wow. Holy cow. Oh man.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, I use your handkerchief. What do you do?
Oh my gosh. This is awesome. Yeah. Hi.
Really handsome.
You look very pretty. It was worth all the hours.
Like no sleep. My mom like coffee and scones. It's like what running on.
I woke up at like 9:30. All right.
Oh, whatever.
Oh my
I
God.
love you.
I love you too.
You look really handsome.
You look gorgeous. You look amazing.
Oh, Genesis, tell us what to do now.
Yeah.
Please be seated. Family, friends, and loved ones, today we gather on this happy occasion to celebrate the wedding of Jenna and Kevin. We've come here to share in this formal commitment they make to one another, to offer our love and support to this union, and to allow Jenna and Kevin to start their married life together, surrounded by the people dearest to them. Before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge the spiritual presence of the family members who were unable to be with us today. We feel their presence with us and take joy in the knowledge that they would be thrilled to see Jenna and Kevin marry with so many loved ones in attendance. Marriage is perhaps the greatest and most challenging adventure of human relationships. No ceremony can create your marriage. Only you can do that through love and patience, through dedication and perseverance, through talking and listening, helping and supporting and believing in each other, through tenderness and laughter, through learning to forgive, learning to appreciate your differences, and by learning to make the important things matter and to let go of the rest. What this ceremony can do is to witness and affirm the choice you make to stand together as life mates and partners. In the spirit of their love and the commitment they make to one another today, Jenna and Kevin have selected 3 readings which will be read by friends close to them. The first is The Art of Marriage by Wilfred A. Peterson, to be read by Mayank Agarwal.
The little things are the big things. It is never being too old to hold hands. It is remembering to say, I love you, at least once a day. It is never going to sleep angry. It is at no time taking the other for granted. The courtship should not end with the honeymoon. It should continue through all the years. It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together, facing the world. It is forming a circle of love that gathers in the whole family. It is doing things for each other, not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is not expecting the husband to wear a halo or the wife to have wings of an angel. It is not looking for perfection in each other. It is cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humor. It is having the capacity to forgive and forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow. It is finding room for the things of the Spirit. It is a common search for the good and the beautiful. It is establishing a relationship in which the independence is equal, dependence is mutual, and the obligation is reciprocal. It is not only marrying the right partner, it is being the right partner.
Next, a passage from Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, to be read by Robin DeLuzin.
The future belongs to hearts even more than it does to minds. Love, that is the only thing that can occupy and fill eternity. In the infinite, the inexhaustible is requisite. Love participates of the soul itself. It is of the same nature. Like it, it is the divine spark. Like it, it is incorruptible, indivisible, imperishable. It is a point of fire that exists within us, which is immortal and infinite, which nothing can confine, and which nothing can extinguish. We feel it burning even to the very marrow of our bones, and we see it beaming in the very depths of heaven.
And so, without further ado, honored guests, we are gathered here today to join Jenna and Kevin in the union of marriage. This contract is not to be entered into lightly, but thoughtfully and seriously, and with a deep realization of its obligations and responsibilities. Do you, Kevin, take Jenna to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
Do you, Jenna, take Kevin to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
I can imagine no greater honor in my life than to officiate the union of two of the best friends I've ever had and two of the best people I expect to meet on this earth. Somehow, I had the good fortune of knowing both Jenna and Kevin before they started dating, when they were together at the University of Michigan. For those who haven't had that same privilege, I want to take a moment to share a little about them in turn before we appreciate what they are together. We start with Jenna. And while I knew her best early on and have plenty of stories I could share, one in particular colored how I first came to see her. Now, we all have moments in our lives that test us, that test our mettle. Only the privileged, might be up here a while. Only the privileged are graced with unshakable friends and loved ones who will face that test with us, who will walk into the fire at our side. All right, we're good. If you've never met Jenna, let me tell you, Jenna will walk into any fire for the people she loves. I know this firsthand from a particularly trying period for me personally early in our friendship. Good friends will listen closely and show genuine empathy. Great friends show up with ice cream and beer and watch Parks and Rec with you. But Jenna, when Jenna is concerned about you, she starts a student organization to support you and gets hundreds of people to sign up. When I told Jenna in college that I was gay and that I felt uncomfortable in the College of Engineering, she rallied many in this room to found a student organization called Own It. This organization brought hundreds of students, industry leaders, and the dean of our college together to affirm people like myself and the college's most marginalized populations. I've seen her be there for me time and again, just as I know she's been there for countless of those in this room. Those so quick to give of themselves to others, like my friend Jenna, are precious people, and they deserve equally precious partners, which takes me to Kevin. I've heard plenty of wedding speeches over the years in which the new boyfriend or girlfriend is met with skepticism, only to later win the friends over by the new partner's charms. But only those who've never met Kevin could be skeptical that he'd possess the same innate goodness and capacity for authentic caring that I saw in Jenna. When I first encountered Kevin, he had recently won a beauty pageant. Mind you, though, this beauty pageant was called Mr. Engineer. He drew the audience to him through a combination of wit, charm, and feisty dancing skills. I don't think I told Kevin this before, but I was wildly impressed that he won that competition. Within the 5,000 plus person College of Engineering, he had won a stunning popularity contest against many of the most distinguished leaders in the school. What I saw that day was an extraordinary level of outward confidence, but mixed in a rare cocktail with humility, mixed with a willingness to not take himself too seriously, to laugh at himself, and to bring everyone around him laughing with him. In the years since, I've gotten to know Kevin much better and come to see a more nuanced picture. Kevin is among the most charming, kind, and intelligent people you'll meet, but also least likely to give himself credit for being so. He is truly a rare individual, and I couldn't be luckier to count him as my friend. Their quality as individuals adds to the beauty of what they form together. And in them, we see all the signs of compatibility. I asked many of their friends how they knew Jenna and Kevin would work as a couple. A surprising number responded that their hyper-intense shared love for their dog child, Chewy, convinces them beyond a doubt that their love is built to last. Some pointed to the strong foundation of friendship they had before dating, One of them said she knew when she saw Jenna and Kevin, and I quote, both belting their hearts out to an Elton John song. The joy we see in them when they're together is remarkable and can't be matched when they're apart. I also asked Jenna and Kevin what they like most about each other. They both said something similar. Jenna said, I love that I can talk to you about literally anything. There's nothing that I hold back from you in any way, shape, or form. That's the good stuff, the hard stuff, the bad stuff, the sad stuff, the weird stuff. Kevin said, I don't need to be anything other than myself with you. You make me such a better person. And the moments they described as some of their favorites over the last 7 years were often when it was just them, doing nothing in particular other than being together. Celebrating Christmas, just the two of them. Sitting together in a camper in New Zealand. The night when Kevin stayed in Michigan with Jenna, rather than go back to Chicago after the loss of her grandfather. We sometimes like to imagine that fate, that accident, or the intent of a higher power might determine the longevity of our relationships. But 7 years together isn't an accident that happened to you. Divinity, fate, or accident can lay the foundation for compatibility, but you chose to love each other thousands of times over, even though there were and will be days when you don't like each other much. A lifetime of marriage won't be an accident either. Long-term commitment, as you both know, is also a choice made every day we wake up and decide to continue loving, delighting, and supporting our partner. None of us here with you today can guess what obstacles and opportunities fate will throw your way. We don't know what your health will be or jobs you'll have. We don't know what struggles the world will see or how age will change you. But what we do know is that you are both people well practiced in loving deeply. You're people who don't let those you care about down. You're people who know how to help and how to ask for help. Yours is a love that fate ought to know better than to mess with. That's why I'm so confident you'll keep choosing each other every day. That's why I'm happy you found each other. And that's why I can't wait to see what new joys this next chapter in life brings to you both. Finally, before Kevin and Jenna exchange their vows and rings, Aaron Lipnicki will share the poem Union by Robert Fulghum.
You have known each other from first glance of acquaintance to this point of commitment. At some point, you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes, indeed, you've been making commitments in an informal way. All of the conversations that were held in a car or over a meal or during long walks. All of those conversations that began with, when we're married, and continued with, I will, and you will, and we will. All of those late night talks that included someday and somehow and maybe. All of those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All of these common things and more are the process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all of those things we've promised and hoped and dreamed? Well, I meant all of it, every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another. Acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, even teacher, for you have learned much from one another these past few years. Shortly you shall say a few words that will take you across a threshold of life, and things between you will never be the same. For after today you shall say to the world, this is my husband, this is my wife.
Jenna and Kevin, you've both written vows of love and commitment, which you will shortly be asked to read to one another. But before you do that, I ask you to remember that love, which is rooted in trust and acceptance, will be the foundation of an abiding and deepening relationship. No other ties are more tender, no other vows are more sacred than those you now assume. If you are able to keep the vows you take here today, not because of any religious or civic law, but out of a desire to love and be loved by another person fully, without limitation, then your relationship will form the foundation of a full and joy-filled life shared together. Kevin, would you please read the vows you've prepared for Jenna?
Jenna, I love your passion for exploration and learning. Your adventurous spirit, coupled with incomprehensible levels of planning, brings a continuous sense of wonder to the world. This passion extends to your relationships as well. You are fiercely loyal and caring towards others. And the love that you have built throughout your life is reflected in the friends and family supporting us here today. But most of all, Jenna, I love your unconditional commitment to us. No matter what trials we have faced, you have never given up on us. And with every high and every low in our life, my love for you grows deeper. I vow to share in your laughter, your tears, and preferably both at once, to be open with you in times of vulnerability and next to you in times of need, and to strive for excitement, contentment, but always joy and love for all our lives. I love you.
Jenna, please read the vows you've prepared for Kevin.
Kevin, I always imagined having the kind of love that grew out of friendship, but had no idea when we first went to breakfast all those years ago that this is where we'd end up, vowing our love to each other in front of our friends and family. We have grown so much these past 7 years, and you have truly made me a more patient, conscientious, and understanding person. I could go on listing the things I love about you. I love your enthusiasm for new experiences, your ability to bring me joy and comfort like no one else can, and your willingness to give so much of yourself to me and those important to you. I cannot imagine going through this world with anyone but you, and feel so thankful to get to experience this life we've built together. Today and always, I promise to support you, to listen to you, and to talk through any challenges we may face. I promise to grow with you, to find peace and stillness, and to love you unconditionally. I promise to be your partner every day in every way. I love you.
May I have the rings? Kevin, please repeat after me. I give you this ring as a reminder
I give you this ring as a reminder
that I will love, honor, and cherish you
that I will love, honor, and cherish you
in all times,
in all times,
in all places,
in all places,
and in all ways forever.
and in all ways forever.
Jenna, will you repeat after me? I give you this ring as a reminder
I give you this ring as a reminder
that I will love, honor, and cherish you
that I will love, honor, and cherish you
in all times,
in all times,
in all places,
in all places,
and in all ways forever.
and in all ways forever.
By the power vested in me, by the Universal Life Church and the state of Ohio, it is my honor to declare you husband and wife. You may kiss. I'm delighted to present to you, for the first time, Mr. and Mrs. Kevin and Jenna Shawcross.
All right, if I can have everybody's attention, please. It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce our bridal party this evening. Coming in first, put your hands together for Daisy Wang and Nathan Raleigh. Your officiant, Nick Cliff and Zoe Lemma. All right, everybody, and now your bridal party, Daisy Wang and Nathan Raleigh. They're followed by Stephanie Sharwark and Jesse Zhang. Kelsey Swift and TJ Mention. Your matron of honor, Erica Smirnovsky, and best woman, Kevin's sister, Megan Shawcross. All right, everybody, put your hands together. Show them all your love and affection. The reason we are all here this evening, Mr. and Mrs. Kevin and Jenna Shawcross.
Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, 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 chaka, ooga, ooga, deep inside of me, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know it'll be alright. Hooked on a feeling, I'm high on believing it's sure in love with me. Lips as sweet as candy, taste is on my mind. Girl, you got me thirsty for another cup of wine. But from you, girl, but I don't need a cure. I'll just stay your victim if I know for sure. All the good love when we're all alone. Yep, girl, yeah, you turn me on. Hooked on a feeling, I'm high on believing that you're in love with me.
We want to say a welcome, of course, to our family and friends. Dan and I, Karen and Kirk, thank you all for being here on this special day to celebrate Jenna's and Kevin's wedding. In addition, a huge thanks to Derek and Megan for making sure that Kevin made it here alive and well, not hurting himself on the treacherous ski slopes in northern Michigan. Another special thank you to Erica. And I haven't cried all day, but I might cry right now. Oh, sorry. Oh, Eric. Okay, the matron of honor, who has always been like a second daughter to Dan and myself. Your friendship with Jenna and us holds such love in our hearts. Thirdly, a special thanks needs to be given to Nick Cliff, who agreed to be the officiant for this I can't say this word, momentous
occasion.
Monumentous, I'm the teacher, yeah, okay, occasion. Nick, you know Jenna and Kevin very well, and we are forever grateful for your kindness and friendship to both. I guess you couldn't say no to being part of this special day, considering the margaritas, which were provided by Miss Kelsey Swift. They were served up in some gigantic ball that we believe had everyone not feeling so well the next day. Our only question to you, Kelsey, is what kind of Buckeye potion was part of that margarita mix? Go Blue! We thank you for being you, and thanks to Nick again. Okay. Lastly, a loving thank you to Grandma Berkey, Grandma Miller, and Grandpa Frank and Marilyn. Although a few aren't physically with us here today, we know that they are truly here in spirit. All grandparents are so proud of you and beaming with delight knowing what the future holds for you both. Kevin, and where's Megan? We had the same question for Chris and Megan. Kevin, remember Grandma Mary Miller asking you the first time that she met you, what are your intentions with my granddaughter? She liked your answer, and she certainly loved you. This day holds such meaning in her heart. As for Grandma Berkey, Dan's mom, she knew before anyone else about Jenna and Kevin. Having been born in Ann Arbor and back again so many years later for a visit, she knew and told Jenna that she had already met that special someone, even if they didn't know yet. Okay, that was my big part.
All right. So, Kevin, this is your very fortunate day. There are many things you already know about Jenna, but there are still countless hours of video that you have yet to see. Not to mention, we've seen some of your videos too. Your mom has shared lots of pictures and some videos. That'll all come in the future. But Jenna, there's so many great times over the years. Your early engineering feats of trying to get into the little Kittles chair when you were about 1 year old, not quite figuring it out yet. That. And Kevin, we've seen your salsa dancing in the Mr. Engineer contest. I'm going to keep this much shorter, though. So, next.
Oh, yeah, we only had 7 minutes.
Yeah. Anyway, oh, gosh.
I think I did a better job.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep it short. You ran long. Let's see. Let's see. Not to worry much. well, forget it. So we're thankful for the guidance that your parents have provided for you over the years. We thank you for the guidance all of our friends that have provided for both Jenna and Kevin over the years. They shape a lot of who the two of you are today, and we're very fortunate that you both have found each other. In conclusion, time passes, children grow up quickly. We find ourselves missing our little girl, although Jenna, you will always be holding our hands. You will hold our hearts. I know, that's not it. We're proud. Oh, God, the teacher.
I'm sorry, it was supposed to say, even though you're not holding our hands much anymore, you'll always hold a place in our heart.
Yeah. We are so proud, and we thank God for the love of which you and Kevin have found in each other. As parents, we worry and only want the best for our children. While Jenna and Kevin, we have found the best in each of you today. So today, they have become Mr. and Mrs. Kevin and Jenna Shallcross. So in conclusion, I'd like everyone to raise their glass. And as Grandpa Frank used to say, salud y peseres y temor y tiempo de gastarlos. Or, as I like to say, cheers to your health, wealth, love, and time to enjoy it together with family and friends.
Thank you. Good evening. For those that I have not had the pleasure to meet yet, my name is Erica Spernovsky, and I have the incredible privilege of being this beautiful bride, Jenna Berkey Shallcross, is matron of honor. I can't remember a time when Jenna was not in my life. When you entered the hall today to see where you were going to sit, you saw pictures of Jenna and Kevin over the course of their lives. From the time they were babies, to the middle school years with braces, and beyond. Through it all, I have been lucky enough to call Jenna my best friend. We began spending time together when I was barely a year old, and Jenna's mother, Lisa, had gone back to teaching after her maternity leave had ended. My mother, Kathy, had been happy to watch Jenna for 2 days a week. All of that time together, from such a young age, meant that Jenna and I were destined to become friends. But it quickly became much more than that, and we were practically extensions of each other's families, or I would even say sisters. But that meant very different things for each of us. You see, for me, as part of the Berkey family, it meant that when Dan went to go get his daughter a Beanie Baby as a gift, he thought of me as well. And Happy the Hippo was my very first Beanie Baby. Thank you, Dan. Now for Jenna, as part of the Starewski family, it meant that when one of my older brothers, usually Adam, felt the need to test one of his new Nerf guns via sneak attack, he thought not only of me, his sister, but he thought of Jenna. Thank you, Adam. As children, Jenna and I learned many valuable lessons together. We learned how to have fun and dance like no one was watching as we sang along to the Backstreet Boys, the only boy band that matters. We learned the meaning of compromise when Jenna, an avid Power Rangers fan, and I, a My Little Pony enthusiast, would take time to indulge both passions during our playdates. And we even learned the value of compassion and generosity when Jenna would occasionally let me win a game of Disney trivia. I could truly go on and on about what it was like growing up together, but what makes those memories so rich now is the fact that after going to different schools, being in different grades, moving away from each other a few times, and experiencing all of the trials that come along with adolescence and adulthood, we are closer now, after almost 29 years, than we ever have been. That is truly rare, and even so, I know that I hit the jackpot with a best friend who is so brilliant as to be the commencement speaker at one of the best universities in the country, has the perfect blend of confidence and ambition to chase after and believe in her dreams, while still being the most supportive and insisting on all of her friends' big and small wins, even if it means going to the Rainforest Cafe of all places, as my husband Simon wanted to do after completing a big assignment. And all of that is not to mention her selflessness and leadership as demonstrated when she organized and led a group of women in India to change lives, as just one example. She's amazing, and I'm incredibly lucky that I can still call her my best friend. But now that I've shared with you a few of the qualities that I think make Jenna so great, I'd like to move on to the reason we are here today, which is to celebrate the marriage of my best friend Jenna to this amazing man, her husband, who is also my friend, Kevin Shallcross. I met Kevin in the summer of 2014 when my then fiance, the now husband Simon, and I moved to Chicago. From what I've been told, he may have been a little nervous to meet me. But to be quite honest, I'd already made up my mind about you before I'd even met you in person. Because after years of hearing about Kevin from Jenna, I knew that you were special and she'd never felt this way about anyone else. She was so proud to call you her boyfriend. And who wouldn't be proud to call the winner of the Mr. Engineer pageant at Michigan their boyfriend? It keeps going. Seriously though, after the 3 years that we lived in Chicago were amazing, largely because of Jenna and Kevin. Of course, Jenna and I wanted to spend as much time together as we possibly could. That was a given. But the real gift was when Kevin developed a friendship with Simon. So much so that the four of us actually planned a trip to Ireland together from which we returned in December. And it's from this trip that I'd like to recount a few memories of why I think Jenna and Kevin are the perfect pair. Number one, they admire and complement each other's talents. So Jenna, as you all know, is the master of all planning. But I'd like to emphasize that she was researching Ireland in detail while planning a wedding. But the best laid plans can go awry in a place like Ireland when the challenge of having to drive on the left side of the road comes up. But fortunately for us, Kevin's a pro and did more than half of the driving to navigate us safely through the minefield of roundabouts and narrow streets. They both have a strong hunger for knowledge. Let's just say that the four of us were either a tour guide's dream or worse, nightmare. Because largely Jenna and Kevin could ask questions about the history, the culture, the food, the language for hours. Number three, they're adventurous, not wanting to miss out on anything. All were willing to persevere on our hike to the megalithic cemetery of Carrowkeel, despite the conditions being dark, rainy, windy, and remote after our beloved car Seamus's gas light had just turned on. I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to tell your parents that, Jenna, but. And number 4, I'm just gonna say it. They're excellent drinking buddies. But I mean this more in the sense that I was talking about with the hunger for knowledge. Having a drink with these two means dissecting every flavor, every scent, researching the history, and enjoying it while always keeping their heads. When we went on the Irish whiskey experience, we accidentally kept our guide 45 minutes past his shift ending. And number 5, and most important of all, Jenna and Kevin understand the little things that make each other happy. So I remember a time after visiting Giant's Causeway where it was pouring rain on us. Kevin had been eyeing this apple pie with custard on the menu, but he probably wasn't willing to order it for himself. So Jenna encouraged him to get it because she knew how happy it would make him, and I think it did. It was very good. And Kevin, I can't tell you how many times he would do something silly just to make Jenna laugh for minutes on end, whether it be the goofy walks, or his impression of a sheep walking into a wall. As long as Jenna was laughing, it was worth it. And did you know, every time you take a picture of these two, they kiss afterwards? It's almost too adorable. Jenna and Kevin know each other, the good, the bad, and the silly, and they love each other unconditionally. I think based on what we saw at your ceremony today, and Nick's fantastic speech, everyone in this room can see how genuine that is. And when Jenna spoke at my wedding a few years ago, she noted that I am a whopping 7 months older. I went first in many aspects of life. Well, sister, I may have gone first, but you are cruising on your own now and are unquestionably one of the most inspirational people I know. And now that you and Kevin have officially tied the knot, I know there's nothing that you can't do as a team, and I can't wait to watch what you go on to do to change the world together. Now, if you could please raise a glass and toast to Mr. and Mrs. Shallcross.
Cheers.
Okay, no more tears. And now I'd like to introduce the incomparable best woman, Megan Shallcross.
Ow!
Thank you, Erica. Good evening, everyone. I'm Megan, Kevin's slightly older sister and best woman, and I'm honored to give a toast to you two tonight. I wanted to start by saying a huge thank you to Dan and Lisa Berkey and to Mom and Dad for raising the two wonderful people that we're all here to celebrate tonight. You should be so proud. I know I am. And thank you everyone here for traveling to be here today and for being such incredible family and friends to Kevin and Jenna. I know how much they appreciate all of you and your support. And thank you, Kevin and Jenna, for giving us a reason to party. I've had the privilege and joy of knowing Kevin for nearly 30 years. And honestly, when I think back on the best memories of my life, nearly all of them involved Kevin. From making up games when we were little, like racing back and forth on our knees across our playroom floor for no reason, to playing basketball in our unfinished basement, in which I was always Michael Jordan, and Kevin was assigned to be either Charles Barkley or Scottie Pippen, to inventing more weird songs and dances than I can count throughout the years. Kevin's always been willing to match or exceed my goofiness and laugh uncontrollably with me. When I went away to college, I would always call Kevin when I was having a hard time. He would listen without judgment and would understand me in a way that most other people wouldn't. After talking with him, I'd always end up laughing uncontrollably, gaining some perspective, and feeling like the world made a little more sense. And I still always feel that way after talking with him. He's patient, wise, and is the rarest and best sort of brother and friend. So, when your little brother, the one person in the world you feel some sense of protectiveness over, even if you're 14 months apart, when he falls in love, the pressure is on. Just kidding. But really. I first got to meet Jenna in Ann Arbor, and over a delicious dinner at Grizzly Peak Tavern, it became clear to me that she was intelligent, driven, funny, thoughtful, curious about the world, and loved my brother, and was a Michigan Wolverine. This was very exciting. Not only was Jenna awesome, but she put up with Kevin's and my special brand of humor and joined in the goofiness. As I've gotten to know Jenna more over the last 7 years or so, and have been fortunate to live in the same city for the last 3 or so years, I found some of the things I most love about her are that she values travel and learning more about other cultures and the world around her. She loves so many types of music, musicals, and art. She's an advocate for social justice, strong in her convictions, and challenges and compliments Kevin. The two of them have really built such a strong foundation over the years and support one another in doing the things they love. Whether that's going to symphony concerts and art shows, Jenna, or reading cosmic horror novels while listening to smooth jazz or Yanni at home. Kevin. And they have so many shared passions: traveling, boxing, the planetarium, and most importantly, a special little stray pup named Chewy. Kevin and Jenna, I am so happy for the two of you as you move ahead into the next stage of your lives together, and I wish you both so much joy as you navigate all the adventures ahead. So everyone, please join me in raising a glass to Kevin and Jenna. Cheers to a long, loving marriage. Cheers. Love you guys.
I just met you. It seems like yesterday. You opened up your eyes and I recognized your face. You know that you're the one that we've been waiting for. We're gonna keep you safe. First time I held you in my arms, I knew I'd love you all the way. I tuck you in at night. Another day has passed, and every week goes by a little faster than it lasts. It wasn't so long ago we walked together and you held my hand. And now you're getting too big to want to, but I hope you'll always understand that I'm always gonna lift you up, and I'm never gonna let you down. No matter what you do, I'm forever proud of you.
Through your ears I hear it, through your eyes I see. We're full of magic, endless possibility. You know as well as anybody how tough this life can be. You've got so much strength inside you, a strength I hope you'll never need. And I'm always gonna lift you up. No, I'm never gonna let you down. No matter what you do, I'm forever proud of you. I love you forever now. I love you forever now. I love you forever, Dad. All right, Kevin, grab that beautiful mother of yours, bring her to the dance floor.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Yes, you're lovely, with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fear apart. And that laugh wrinkles your nose, it touches my foolish heart. Lovely, never ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. Just the way you look tonight.
Congrats, Mom. All right, everybody, we're going to send Jenna and Kevin over here to cut this pie. In the meantime, we're going to open up this dance floor. Please join us on this dance floor, everybody. Have fun tonight.
It's easy as pie, guys.
I just want to stop right, if you've been married one day or less, please leave the dance floor. Well, thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. 1 year or less, leave the dance floor, please. How sweet it is to be loved by you. 36 years, 37 years, 38 years. You shouldn't be excited. You didn't win anything.
Some 38 years of love.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. 40 years, everybody, 40 years. 40? How sweet it is to be in love. Let me say 100, that'd be 42 years, 42 years. How sweet. 45 years, everybody, 45 years. 45. What do we got left? 2 people left? 46 years. 47 years. All right! How sweet it is to have a love like yours.
Congratulations. Tell us your name.
All right, who we got here, Liz?
John and Sheila. How long have you been married? It will be 49 years in April. Oh my
49 years, everybody.
Congratulations.
John and Sheila. So tell us, what's the secret of marriage for 49 years? What's the secret? What words of wisdom do you have?
I lost my hearing.
He lost, that's exactly about 30 years in. That's how.
I lost my hearing.
No secret.
What's the secret to marriage after 49 years?
Stick to it.
Stick to it. All right, ask him. That's who we need to hear from. 49 years, buddy. How'd you do it? 49 years.
It's easy when you're married to
Oh, see, that's why I asked you.
That's exactly
Well,
it.
congratulations, 49 years, everybody. Congratulations.